your imagination to create chaos in the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
So it's like I'd rather
Before it
use it.
happens.
Yeah, before it even happens. So it's like I'd rather use it to like think of positive things, you know?
It's like an interesting concept because like, if something's gonna happen, you're gonna go through it anyways.
Yeah,
So you might as well not go through it, and then it doesn't happen,
yeah,
and now you just put yourself through this thing.
yeah, yeah,
It
for
didn't even
sure.
end up happening.
Yeah,
Or if it does end up happening, you went through it like 3 times before it actually happened, and now you're just like
yeah,
have no energy, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So I
I seen like this thing where Will Smith was talking about like jumping off a plane or something like that. The fear of like him going through like a week of him thinking like, the fear of actually like before you jump off the plane, like all the worrying and stuff, and then like when you actually jump off the plane, you just realize all that worrying that I was doing in like last week wasn't even it was pointless.
right.
So it's like just live in the moment. Like,
Have you ever jumped off a plane?
no. I think I would though, but
Would you? Mm.
me and my friends were going to in Cuba, but luckily, um, it was like the weather was bad that day.
Luckily.
Luckily, the weather was really bad because we were like, this is when I used to drink, and like me and all my friends, we went on a guy trip, and we're like all drunk and hyping each other. Yeah, let's go skydiving. And then
Crazy, man.
the next day, we were like, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then they're like, no, we're not flying today. Like, all right, all
Yeah.
right, yeah.
That's something I don't know if once I got up there, if I could actually jump or not.
I don't know either, man. That's the thing is like,
Same with bungee jumping. I went with, Savannah, Standing Ready?
um, sounds familiar though.
No, okay. Well, we went to BC a couple years ago, and she went bungee jumping on the bridge.
Yeah.
Nah, I just stayed on the ground. I'm like, I'm not even going up there because I'm gonna look like an idiot. There's no way. I already know I can't do it. I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm pretty scared of heights,
I think I'm scared of heights too, man.
unless I'm like in like a secure place.
Yeah,
Like I'm in like something that I know is like sturdy.
yeah.
Then I can go up high.
E
But as soon as it's like I'm on an edge or like,
Oh, yeah. That's
oh, I need to be on the ground. um, but I guess if you wanted to just introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you're kind of about,
Yeah.
and then we'll just get right into it.
Alright, so everything's recording?
Yeah, we're going. It's
Okay,
good. If I look around, man, I'm
yeah.
just making sure things are
Yeah, yeah.
are operating properly. So
So, like, this is gonna pick it up whether I'm, like,
yeah,
over
yeah,
here or over here?
heck yeah, man.
Okay. Alright, so my name is Dakota Shepherd. Um, my rap name, my alias name, that I'm most known for is Dekoy Sacred Scripts. However, I have a second alias name that I'm trying to rebrand it's Takojah. It's my son's name. It's a Cree word for grandchild, and my real name is Dakota. So when I heard the name Takojah, it was like I don't know, something just clicked where it was just like, man, that's a cool name, man. It would be like a cool rap name or something like that. Because it technically still holds like the name Dakota, but you're just switching out a couple words. So that's the new alias is Takojah, but most known for Decoy Sacred Scripts. I come out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, born and raised. Born in St. Paul's Hospital, and yeah, man, I'm just another native out here chasing the grind. Trying to do positive things for the communities, for the fans and kids that look up to me. You know, I do grass dancing. As a way that when I started grass dancing, it was first just to heal, and still carry that to this day. I don't really compete. Um, I do music. I've been doing music since I was like 12 years old. And just recently, the last like 4 years, I've been doing speaking engagements and youth workshops. So,
Heck
yep.
yeah, man. You're doing everything. You do a lot, man. That's cool. Keeping busy.
Yeah.
Um, so what I guess have you always danced too ever since you were
Yeah.
young?
Yeah. So, like, growing up in, Riversdale, it was either play basketball, skateboard, or breakdance. So,
Mm,
like, I didn't I wasn't really good at basketball. All the other buddies were. I didn't really like running up and down the court, so I opted for breakdancing. And yeah, that's kind of what led into like the grass dancing thing because it's very similar, whereas like it's a freestyle. You're just freestyling with movement basically. So that's one thing that I really admired about grass dancing was like some people have routines, but a lot of it is just like basically like muscle memory and freestyling, similar to breakdancing. So yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Do you still break dance?
I could try, but I just turned 36 and like rolling on the ground, you'll feel it a lot
Yeah.
more in your 30s than you would in your teens. Like I could spin on my head all day as a teenager, but like trying to do that stuff now, it's like you'll feel it the next day and yeah. Hardly do it anymore.
Yeah,
I think I still got the moves, but like I gained a lot of weight during COVID, so it's more taxing
right.
on the body and the energy. So yeah.
Right on, man. So I guess so before grass dancing, before music, before everything, who was Dakota before all that?
I was this little adolescent youth that grew up in Riversdale, with a story similar to pretty much every native that grew up in the hood and didn't really have an identity, had abandonment issues as a kid, just trying to find who I was for the longest time, growing up with insecurities, living poor, eating at the food bank and the Friendship Inn, and I identified as like just like a rebel, man. Like, I just like so the reason why I did music was because I feel like the reason why I did music was like I wanted to be seen and appreciated because I wasn't getting that at home. So like I gravitated towards music as a kid and then I just got obsessed with it. Now it's basically like I identify as like uh, a full-time artist, even if it's not paying the bills yet. But like, um, I believe in like what you identify as, who you look at, who you project, or who you look at. When you look in the mirror, if you look at yourself, basically like who you identify is becomes like it manifests quicker. So like, yeah, man, I'm just a music artist at heart, man. Experimenting, with it first started with hip hop. Now it's like dance and everything else, man. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you say, because I feel like a lot of you know people in their youth, and like even myself, like my I never grew up with my dad.
Yeah.
My mom was working a lot, 2, 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Um, just like which is like a just didn't have that support at home, just like you said.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't there, not because of just because that's how life was. It was just like normal, I guess, for me. But for you, um, like who became your main influence then, if it wasn't at home?
As cliche as it sounds, it would be like a Dr. Dre and Eminem.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like as cliche as
yeah,
that
man.
sounds, like any kid that grew up like in the 90s and in the early 2000s, like their main influence would have been like West Coast hip hop artists or like any artists in general. So like, yeah, man, like ever since I like started producing music at 12, I was mainly a producer before I started writing raps.
Mm.
I identified with like Dr. Dre's positioning in within like the hip hop industry. So yeah, man, he's got to be like the main influence hands down. There was others as I grew older, but like I would have to say like tracing back to the roots would be like Dr. Dre and Eminem hands down. Yeah.
Do you remember when music became like everything to you?
It was so I had a buddy, he's, like, a lot older now. His nickname is Murder B. He plays instruments. He's, like, I don't know, he's, like, probably, like, 10, 15 years older than me. We would
From
go.
here?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
from here. He was a janitor at, we just met him, we started hanging around with him, and, mainly, like, we just go over to his house to, hang out with him, smoke a little bit of weed, and then, you know, cook up some food or whatever. But I noticed he had music equipment sitting in the corner, and, I don't know, it was just like we just got into a session one night, and that's when it clicked, was, like, the idea of just sitting there creating something from scratch, and then putting your soul into, like, whatever you created. Like, music is very powerful in ways that, like, it's like the window into the soul.
Mm,
So, like, whatever you're feeling at the moment, it's gonna, like, influence itself into the music somehow. So that's it was about age 12, that's when it clicked, was like, oh man, I really like doing this, I want to do this. And at the start it was basically probably for the wrong reasons, because, like, I was in high school, and I wanted to be liked by girls. I
mm,
wanted to be the cool kid, which is like, yo, I could, check out my music, I could spit some raps. And I wanted to be the guy at the party, like, that can just, like, freestyle, and, all eyes on me. But, like, as the years passed, and, I got a little bit older, it was like it was the only thing, um it was like my only outlet where I can express who I was, and, like, I could release all the aggression that I had growing up as a youth. So yeah, man, I still use it as, like, my main outlet to this day. So yeah.
do you is it more of like, when you use it towards music, is it more of like this emotional release, or is it more of like sharing your story and getting it out that way?
I feel like it's definitely both. Um as, like, like a sober dude now, there's no vices that I could fall back on whenever times get hard. So it's like
Right.
I turn to music as a way to, like, release that aggression, and just get stuff off my chest.
How long have you been sober?
2017. So, like,
Yeah,
it wasn't truly sober because, like, I, smoked weed for a couple years, and
yeah.
then I was smoking cigarettes, and now I'm vaping. But, like, as far as, like, drinking alcohol, it's 2017, man. So it's coming on what, 9 years? Yeah, almost 9 years. In May
That's
20th,
wild.
that's when it'll be 9 years. Yeah.
That's cool, man. What do you feel? What's like different about now?
So I've always looked back and reflected, um to the starting point in the very first year that I was sober, and, like, it seemed like a lot of success has happened quicker. And, like, I don't think that my music would be where it is today, if I didn't get sober, because I was more focused on just, like, creating art rather than going out and partying. And, like, I've been doing music since I was
Right,
12, but up to 27, like, I didn't get much stuff done, because the more you party, say you party for 2 days, then you're in bed for 2 days.
right,
You don't wanna do anything. So, like, um, there's times where, in the past, where I'd be, when I was sober, we would be out, shooting a music video, and then, some of the people that I was with, they would be like, "Are we done?" And, "Yeah, yeah, we're done, man. Go have fun." They would go out and party. I would go back to the house, and basically the work just never finished. I was in on the weekends in the house. I was creating content, and I feel like it gives you the upper edge when you're able to just, like, hyper focus on creating content, rather than out, chasing girls and having fun. So
mm.
yeah.
It's like It's interesting because I've had a handful of artists on here,
Yeah,
hip hop, not just hip hop, kind of all genres, but it's kind of like a similar, like 20s was nothing was taken seriously,
yeah,
and now they're kind of all um making a bit of money off of their music because they're not partying, they're
yeah.
taking things seriously, they're actually, getting things done, handling their business, um, instead of just like and I think that's it's what you said at the beginning, like, just intentions are different, right?
Mhm.
It's more than just, "Look, I'm cool, I can make music, I can." It's now, like, puts things into perspective a bit, I think. What do you think of the music and how it is right now? Because when I first came to Saskatoon, like, I don't know, like, maybe 13, 14 years ago,
Yeah.
it seemed, like, huge. It seemed like there were so many talented artists in hip hop in Saskatoon. And then all of a sudden, like, it went really quiet for, like, 6, 7 years, 8 years maybe, but now it seems like everything's growing again.
Yeah, like, I feel like the music scene was, very interesting when I was first introduced to it back in, like, 2003, man. It was like, you know, breakdancing, freestyle, like, battles, and
Oh, yeah, the battlegrounds.
there was, like, this thing called the King of the Prairies, that was before the Battlegrounds, and, like, man, that was, like, if you won the King of the Prairies, man, you had bragging rights for the whole year. You were, like,
Mhm.
the absolute man, so, like,
Who
there
put
was
that on?
it was Haywood, man. DJ Haywood,
Eh,
he, owns, Undergrind. He would host, like, the King of the Prairies every year around, like, Christmas, and it was, like, a bunch of guys just, like a battle, man, and, like, $1,000 to the winner, plus you get, like, the crown of, like, saying you beat everybody at the freestyle battle, man. The hip
cool.
hop scene back then was it was pretty crazy, man. It was pretty crazy, man. That's why I gravitated towards it so much too, was, like, seeing that we actually had, like, this really cool hip hop scene that I could be a part of, and yeah. So times have definitely changed. Um, I believe back in, like, 2012, like, Winnipeg's Most was, like, one of the biggest, like, native group artists, coming out of, like, Western Canada, so, like, it, like, refueled the fire of the hip hop scene. That's like, around that time, like, everybody was trying to get on because, like, we had, like, these guys that were making it, and we thought, like, "Oh, man, if they could do it, like, we could do it too, man," you know? So
Mhm.
I feel like it's coming back now. It's died out, but now, like, I was just thinking about this morning. Last night, I discovered this new artist. His name is, Bishop Splice, and, like, he's based out of Fairbanks, Alaska, and, like, I haven't been this excited about, like, seeing another native come up in a while, or, like, yeah, man, because, like, but not only that, like, the scene itself across Canada and the States is, like, natives are on the forefront of just, like, um, paving our own path. Yeah. It's crazy to see, like, so much influencers out there now, and everybody's doing big things, and so it's definitely come back in a in a more impactful way for our people. Yeah.
I feel I feel like that's like really noticeable. Like there's a lot of people doing a lot of cool things, not just in music,
Yeah.
but like clothing, in even just like culturally, even um pretty much like every area of business, every area of art, every area of creativity. There's indigenous people there that are doing well. They're like they're just making they're yeah, it's cool to see, and it's like even for you, like every time I see your stories, man, you're up to something. You're somewhere, you're grinding, you're on the powwow trail, you're at a conference, you're putting out music, you're just staying busy.
Yeah.
What do you think makes somebody different, like in terms of like following your dreams, your goals, and somebody who just kind of sits back and watches?
I think like we're all dealing with the same issue of feeling unseen and not getting the proper like accolades that we feel we deserve. You know, there's a lot of great artists out here that are like 100 times better than me, but it all comes down to like believing in yourself and just taking that belief and acting upon it for it to like fully manifest into the physical thing that you want. Um so like there's I'm losing my train of thought. What was the question again? It was like what's the difference?
Yeah, I guess what was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
um
So like yeah,
somebody who's going for their dreams
yeah,
and
and
somebody
somebody
who
who's just
just
sitting there.
like they know what they know, but they just will not take the steps to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it all comes down to like at the end of the day, like a belief in yourself because like I sometimes I'll just go on binge watching of like
Mm,
old content that I released like 10 years ago and there was this like super spark that was within me where it was just like nobody could tell me anything. I was gonna do it no matter what, even if I had to do it myself. And yeah, man, like now it's like I'm finding that spark again, that belief in myself where I don't need external validation from like social media or anybody else to like give me that validation that like I should be doing this. It's just like I'm just gravitating towards it naturally and there's just a certain feeling like you get when you listen to music like by yourself and you're up all night and I've always said that music has like amazing qualities. You know, for one, it's a time capsule. You know, you could go back to like a song like that you made that I've made back in like 2012, and you can re-experience the feelings that you were having back in that exact moment when that song was created. But also, like when you're listening to music it just elevates your spirit to this, like, place where, like, you feel like anything is possible. So that's why I just love music, man. Yeah.
mm. Why do you think that died, and then why do you think it's coming back now?
I feel like it died because, um, money got involved. You know, we started making money off of music, and then, I wasn't looking at it as, like, an outlet anymore where I can just, like, express the way that I was feeling. It started turning into, like, how can we make money off of this?
Mm,
And then that's when like the spark kind of just died out. And a lot of stuff that I released, I thought was good at the time, but like if you go back and listen to a song, I always say like, does it hold up against time? And like, you know, sounds changed within the years, and like
right.
you want something that's like gonna be like timeless. That's just like every time you go back, no matter how much time has passed, like it just hits.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you think that has a little bit to do with the rebrand? Do you think that like who you were when you were Decoy is just not who you are anymore?
So yeah, like originally, like, I was a break dancer, and, the nickname was B-boy Decoy because it sounded really cool. It you know, B-boy Decoy, it kinda rhymed, and then once I stopped breakdancing, basically started doing music full time, I just took out the B-boy and went as Decoy, and then I had a friend that I used to travel with, he'd always tell me, like, "Decoy sounds like a kid name or something like that," and it's kinda misleading in a sense. It has, like, you know, what decoys are really meant for is, like, you know, it's like a misleading thing. So, in a way, like, I just thought it was time for a rebrand. I wanted to, incorporate, like, my culture, so
Mm,
I chose a Cree word. And then not only that, my son was born, and, I don't know if he's only 3 now, but I don't know if he's gonna gravitate towards music once he's older, but, like, if he does choose to, then his name is kinda already built.
Right.
So, like, it was, like, basically, like, what do I wanna leave behind, for the children for my children, if, if I pass away or when I go, and at least this is the legacy that I'm leaving behind is, like, the Takojah name, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I know for me, so much has freaking changed since being a dad.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like what the heck was I doing before? Like what was my purpose before being a dad? And I think about that because now it's just like legacy is so important to me. Building these freaking two little kids to become strong parts of society, that can handle anything. And it's like that's just like and then everything else is like kind of around that, it's all
Yeah.
like byproducts of that.
Yeah.
But before my kids, it was like it's hard to think about what I was doing or why. Um, I guess, but for you, how is that? How is having kids changed your path?
So, like, I got a son that's gonna be 18 next month. I had him when
Mm,
I was about 17. Before I had him, I was basically, like, deep in the streets. I wasn't, like, active with gangs or anything like that. It was morely just, like, a street hustler, street entrepreneur. So when I had my first child, it was basically like, you know, it's time to grow up. Went and
mm,
got a job, stopped hanging around with, the old crowd that I was hanging with, and music was always there. But as I got 5 kids now, and they're pretty much they come first before anything. So I just wanted to be the father that I never had because I never knew my father. Um, I dealt with, like, abandonment issues growing up. My mom wasn't there. She's, like, full-blown alcoholic. So I just wanted to, try to do something different. I want to be in my kids' lives, and yeah, a lot has changed, man. I'm like a full-time father, man. I'm basically like my life might, like, appear to be, like, exciting from the outside looking in, but basically I'm just at home, like, cleaning up 24/7, doing laundry, changing diapers,
yeah,
like, just exhausted, and then I have a little bit time for music, so
I always think of there's like Chris D'Elia, the comedian.
Yeah.
He always has that one skit of just being a dad or watching his friend be a dad, and he's just pretty much just running, just like oh, and he runs again, ah, and that's pretty much his life now, his friend's life. And I think of that all the time, man. You're just getting to everything too late.
Yeah.
You gotta clean it up.
I got 3 that are under 10, so, like,
Yeah,
before we go and do anything, I gotta make sure they're ready and dressed to go, and it's like it
yeah.
adds, like, another, like, half an hour to an hour, before I could even get myself ready, so it's a lot.
Whenever somebody asks me, um, what has changed
Yeah,
now, we have a 3-month old,
yeah.
so we have like a real baby,
Busy, man.
and then almost a 3-year-old, and that's all I say to them is things are just slower now,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we got to think about like, is going to this thing worth bringing 2 kids there? You know?
Yeah.
Like, that's it, really. Everything else is, like, pretty much similar, a little bit slower, but it's just like yeah, it slows you down, and then you just, like, second guess things, like, "Should we go to that?" Yeah, man. But it's good because, man, I was like a split second, like, if someone would tell, like, I'm gone, like, I just, like, was up and go, up and go, up and go, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just like and now it's like I still am like that a bit, but it's way slower now,
There's a
way
lot
different.
more there's a lot more, like, what is it, resistance behind going
Right.
out, right?
Resistance, exactly.
It's like well, I was thinking when you said you had a three-year-old and a toddler, I mean, a three-year-old and a three-month-year-old, it's like, damn, man, I remember, like, when my 2 were about that age and nonstop diapers, man, like,
Yeah.
nonstop changing diapers, plus, like, they need 24-hour one-on-one, right? So it's just like, there always has to be somebody there for them, so
Yeah. Correct diapers, man. I'm like, "Dude, go on the like, use the potty, man." And he's just like, "Okay." And then, "Nope." "Okay." Or freaking take his diaper off and he's just freaking pissing on the ground. I
Yeah.
was like, "Man, why? What are you doing?" It's so fun, though. It's just chaos. It's
It's a
good, though, man.
balance. It's a balance between both, yeah. Chaos and fun, man.
What are some, when you think about powwow, when you think of your culture, and then you think of hip hop, how do you intertwine all of that?
So, I was like I've always had this thing where basically, like, I've been around powwow singers and drummers and dancers, and all the rest of my life, I've been around, like, hip hop artists that were native, and there was always, like, this divide where, like, you know, the hip hop community that are native thought they were better than, the traditional community that are, like, singing powwow, and I always thought, like, it's the same thing, like, why do we have to be so divided between, like, um, singing and
Mhm.
expressing our art? It's like, because powwow singing and powwow drumming is an art in itself, and it was always like I've always thought that was super weird where it was like if like I took any one of these powwow singers and I put them on a song, I feel like they would just absolutely kill it. So I'm always like trying to like every time I have like, some powwow friends that are singers, it's like, bro, you should try to lean into like some hip hop, like, cuz like there's money in indigenous hip hop right now, which is cool. But there's also money in powwow singing, but it's never guaranteed. So
Right,
yeah,
more competition, right?
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
sing?
Powwow, no.
No.
I tried when I was a kid, and I still would like to explore um, that side of like the culture eventually. But like my heart is just purely into music, and even like I have a bro like I used to do music with. His name is Iliano.
Mm,
He was like a powwow singer at heart, but he found some way to like transition that into doing music, but still keep like the cadence of like singing powwow. So if you know of like Anton X, also powwow singer who does amazing modern day indigenous hip hop, there's elements of like the powwow singing cadence in the music. So it's just like, why can't we have both, you know?
mm.
Yeah.
And Iliano
Yeah.
is one of the first indigenous artists I ever met
Oh, crazy.
when I was in grade 11. Like
Damn.
grade 11, when I first met him and heard his music.
Yeah.
Uh, and until because you just made a post about
Yeah.
Iliano.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I
Yeah.
read that and I was like, I have not heard that name in a long ass time, man. And I remember I had his CD, like just he sold me his burnt CD for $5,
Damn.
and I met him because I graduated in Wolseley,
Yeah.
which and like all I was just on Carry the Kettle all the time.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
met him over there on CTK. Um, there was another guy, Angelo Jack, who made some music.
Yeah.
And that's how I met him. And that's like right when I was kind of getting into music too. And yeah, man, cool guy. I yeah. And
Yeah, man.
then when you said that made that post, I was like, what the heck, man? Wild.
When I made the post, basically, I was like it was one of those nights when I was, like, binge watching old content, and I just remember, like, when we first started the group together, like, this spirit that everybody had together was basically, like, um, you know, nobody's gonna put us natives on but ourselves, so it's, like, basically up to ourselves, to, like, to make it happen, and that spirit still lives within the old recordings, and it's just like a good reminder, like, yeah, man, our heart was in the right place, but like maybe we were doing it for the wrong reasons at the time. So yeah, it was a good reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice though to be able to look back at it how you are now though, like from this just like this different perspective, like this perspective of like you've gone through some things, you've learned some lessons, you've
Yep.
taken things and not just thrown them away, you've become a different person, right? And now you can look back at that and still be grateful.
Yeah. It's a lot of lessons, man. A lot of lessons, and it's all about the journey. And you never fully you never fully hit the peak that you're wanting to hit. You just got to enjoy the journey, man, and you know, um, enjoy the lessons, good or bad. So yeah,
So when I know there's like a guy, and this could be totally wrong, but I feel like a lot of the division, you
yeah,
know, with the indigenous maybe hip hop community and then the powwow and singing and being more traditional, it probably comes from the making money, you know?
yeah,
Cause sometimes I hear people talk about that where it's like it should be given, not charged for, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Which is like
yeah,
it's like I understand where that is coming from,
yeah.
but also we live in an expensive world.
Oh yeah,
The world has changed,
gas prices gone up like
right?
crazy, man. Like right now, yeah,
So
everything.
it's tough to we don't really live in a world where you can just give things away anymore,
Yeah,
you know? Especially when you have a family.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
man.
I I understand both sides and that division there is yeah, it's tough
Well,
because of that.
well, you see it a lot with like the rise of indigenous influencers and uh, those influencers, going on the road, doing conferences. You know, you see a lot of people complaining about like, oh, these guys shouldn't get paid like 10 grand just to go talk to youth, or what value are they truly bringing? But it's like at least we're trying, at least somebody's trying. And like you said, like, yeah, everybody's got bills, and it's getting more expensive, and all we're really trying to do is provide a valuable service to be able to like provide for our kids and our families, man, in a more positive way rather than like, turning to the streets, getting money that way. And so you got this division of like either people that, they think they're really traditional and they want to uphold those like old school traditional values, and we're entering a new modern age where like, you know, um the influencers are trying to provide a service by uplifting youth in the only way they can, and if they're making money off of it, that's a plus, I think. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think it is needed. I
Yeah.
think a lot of what I see people doing is really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's like really especially if you can be out on the community for like days or weeks or
Yeah.
go back out consistently.
Yeah.
and just like build those relationships and help them like see what a leader looks like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Providing like a positive influence for like the youth, and like my thing was like, let's use like the music as like a icebreaker almost, Yeah.
So when you go out and speak somewhere, you perform as well?
Yeah. Yeah. I will like during some of the youth engagements, speaking engagements, basically like I'll perform a song.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'll lead up to like a story basically explaining like where I hit the lowest point of my life and then, it's like this is what I created during those moments and used
Mm,
this music as an outlet rather than, the opposite, which is like, getting into trouble, getting drunk and
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But at like the end of like, it's a lot of kids can't sit there for 3 hours just listening to some random guy talk. So like we would always bring the energy in the room up at the end by throwing a concert or something.
Right.
So it's like giving them something to be excited about, but hopefully they took something away from like the 3 hour speaking engagement, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've traveled with Okima and Brett?
Yeah, I was traveling with them. Man, I was traveling with Okima since like the conception, very, very start of like the very first show, and now it's just snowballed after that. And then, Brett came in and then we got Joey
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Anton X and all the other awesome people, that all travel together and stuff. So yeah.
Do you try like in your music, like well, I guess I was just how do you, I guess, specifically represent indigenous people in your music?
So um basically when I first started it was like an outlet. I would release my aggression and um I was for some reason like out of the groups that I used to be in, like I'd always have indigenous youth come up to me and tell me like I was the one they gravitated towards the most because like I was the most realist and like not in a sense of like, I'm this tough guy, but it was just like I've always had no filter when it comes to making music and I'd always talk about like the realities of the struggles that indigenous inner city youth have to
Mm,
go through. So like that's the way that I represent for our indigenous people is basically telling our stories that were silenced for years. There's a lot of even to this day there's a lot of stuff going on within the communities that nobody talks about. So um I chose to be the voice in a way. Yeah.
so when you say like in the inner city that
Yeah.
nobody talks about,
Yeah.
could you expand on that or share like what that looks like?
So like out of all the places that I've traveled to a lot of places, a lot of reserves, a lot of cities, inner cities, and the problems are all universal. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on at home. Kids won't talk about, that's never brought to the mainstream media. And it's basically like I'm just like telling my story and trying to use it as a way of like being very open and transparent, but relatable. And then also like trying to inspire by like also being very open. Like, here I am, here's, everything that was wrong in my life. And there's a way that, you could live a more positive life if you just like, first of all, quit drinking and
Mm,
just rewiring the brain to not think in terms of lack, but like seeing the world through like abundance and love and yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to be like I'm just trying to lead the way, trying to show these kids there's a different path from the streets to like transitioning into like, a legitimate either businessman or artist or, trying to do things um legitimately, you know. Like there's a path, you know. There's a lot of friends that I have that are doing the same thing with their music and their influence, which is cool. And yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing to see. So yeah,
I think that's a good message, of seeing the world through abundance
yeah,
instead of lack,
yep,
and I think it's a good message because I think a lot of people are stuck there,
yep,
and it's like spoken onto indigenous people,
yep,
not just by other people, but by themselves, by their parents, by the people they're surrounded by. It's like a very I try and tell people too is like, even if you believe that's true, don't say it out
hmm,
loud. Don't say it to your kids. Like, brainwash them to believe they can do anything.
hmm,
Even if you don't believe that,
yeah,
say it, speak it. That because if you could brainwash them and then they could go do it,
yep,
even if you don't. And when Kendall was on the podcast, he talked about that, where when he started Nietzsche Gear, it was from a place of lack. So he couldn't trust anybody because he thought he was gonna lose everything at any moment.
yeah,
So he was kind of had all these barriers up, and then once he started winning and finding more success and realizing that that wasn't true, it just made things easier. It just like
yeah.
he was able to relax.
Everything flowed
And then
naturally.
he's from a position of everyone can win, everyone can eat.
Yep,
No, I'm not in competition with people. I can collaborate with people. I can help other people win because there's enough for everyone.
yep,
And I'm not gonna lose everything just because somebody else is winning. And it's a powerful place to be.
yeah,
Because now the power is in your hands. You have total control. When you're in a place of lack, nothing's in your control. And all
hmm,
this external stuff could happen at any moment and you could lose everything, and it just like takes the power from you.
yeah, yeah. No longer stuck in survival, right? It's like so. I believe like I um at one point in my life when I first got sober, it was basically like listening to tons of audiobooks of like highly influential people talking about it. At first it was like the law of attraction, and then just how like the power of the mind um and your belief in yourself can like basically like manifest certain things into your life, opportunity and abundance. And like our paradigm basically what a paradigm is like basically your um the inhabitual habits that you have, thinking patterns is a paradigm. And like a lot of indigenous youth that are in the inner city on the reserves, like they were their brain was wired a certain way to think in terms of lack, and that's what their paradigm is. And as you get older and you get sober, when you're listening to this stuff and you're still in the life, you think it's just a lot of hocus pocus. But like once you get sober and then you start to rewire your paradigm and like your beliefs and unlearn everything that you thought you knew, um that's when the shift happens, when, no longer living in a scarcity and survival mind state, and you start to like, um switch it to like seeing the world through abundance and opportunity. And
Mhm.
that's the message that I try to speak with the youth about everywhere that I go, because like there's not a lot of speakers talking about this kind of stuff. It
Right.
sounds really far fetched.
That's
when
like Jim Rohn.
It's like Jim Rohn, Wayne Dyer. It
Yeah.
started with like Jim Carrey and then, Tony Robbins
Yeah,
and
Tony's too, man. That guy's a powerful dude, man.
there's a lot, man. There's a lot of but yeah, Jim Rohn, I always listen to his stuff all the time. So
That's
yeah.
good. Yeah, he's all on that paradigm shift,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it does
Rewiring your
yeah,
brain.
man, it does sound far-fetched,
Yeah.
but I don't think it is, man. I believe it, cause
Yeah,
like,
man. It
your mind
just
is powerful,
yeah,
your words are powerful. Um, I just heard on a podcast and, like, whatever your religious beliefs are, spirituality, this guy, he was, a Christian,
yeah,
and he was talking about God speaking life into existence,
yeah,
right? When how whatever, and then he said, and then we were made in God's likeness.
yeah.
That's why we can speak things into existence.
Mhm.
I'm like, man, that is such a powerful concept, you know? It's like that's why when you speak something and believe it, that's what happens, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
It's like your
that's
body feels it, your because that is your like when you think about like your truth,
yeah.
that is a real concept. And it could be the total opposite of that person's truth on
Mhm.
the same idea, and you guys are both right
Yeah.
because of how you're speaking to yourselves. And if you can just like understand that you can change that, you can believe what that guy's believing.
You could
If
switch it.
if
Yeah.
they look more positive, like it's working out for them and they're happy and you're sad and you're maybe like hurting,
Yeah.
you can change that and just believe something different.
Yeah.
But there's just like the steps to doing that. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, um, I forget what the book was called, but it's basically like The Prodigal Son, I think it's called. And he explains basically like there's a father with 2 sons and, one son, um, chose to be by his father's side and, the other one was a rebel and, um, he went out on his own to experience life and then he returned and there's a lot of like wisdom that he gained, knowledge that he gained during his journey, and it was very beneficial to changing his life and perspective. Where it was the second son who stayed by his father's side never, took any risks. Nothing has changed. His thinking patterns never changed. His outlook, his perspective never changed, and um, the prodigal son, yeah, basically like explaining like um, you got to go out there and fail. You got to make mistakes and you got to experience life and you got to be thankful for the bad times as well because like that's when the growth happens.
Mhm.
That's when for me it was like it took a tragedy in my life losing my big brother for me to want something different and that's when I've always heard of the law of attraction but like it wasn't until like I was like maybe 2 years sober then I started just you know reading, listening and reading, like audiobooks and on the subject and just like being superly overly obsessed to the point where it was just like it just became my life.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you do now if you're like that self-doubt creeps in or if you're in like a super down season? What do you do to kind of get back out of get up, get back up, get out of there?
It would be first of all getting out of the house, getting some sunlight, um, taking a walk through nature. It definitely helps. Depression's always going to be there, but like it helps when you like stack certain things together. It gives you a
Mhm.
better like advantage to like overcoming the depression, which is like, going out, listening to music, working out and um getting productive because I feel like for an artist, like the moments when you get really depressed is when you're like not productive and you're just like online surfing, you're watching
Mhm.
everybody else winning and you're just like, man, you just start to like look in the mirror and then you start to like identify as like this guy that's just like this this piece of like, I'm just a piece of like, what am I gonna do? So it's just like getting out of that is really hard, but like, yeah, every time I'm in a like a negative space, basically, like, there was this one teaching where it was basically like everybody has this little kid inside of them, and it's just like, um, talking to yourself. As crazy as it sounds, talking to yourself, talking to the subconscious that lives within us, and, basically giving that little kid a hug and just basically saying, like, "Everything's gonna be okay, man. I'm here for you," wishing, because like, when I was older, I wish I had that, but, like, yeah, um, yeah, just going within and just, loving yourself again, finding the love within yourself, knowing that, um, changing the perspective, knowing that, you're not this worthless person. It's just like there's value within you. You have something in this world that somebody needs to be here. Somebody needs to hear in order that for them to change their lives around. So it's just like basically um like you're the spark, you know, um in somebody else's life for them to change yourself, and always having that, always trying to like basically like um tell your story so that somebody in the crowd can relate, and they can eventually tell their story, and then it just continues on and on and on.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
That's like, when I go, because when I go to conferences, it's always the people I stop and listen to are always like people I feel like I've been there
yeah,
for a moment, or for years or for a childhood, It's just like, frick, this guy's speaking, and now it's like, and then they'll share some tools, how they got out of it.
yeah,
And that connection is definitely the important part. And I feel like people who are maybe scared to speak or scared to speak in front of people,
yeah,
I think it comes from that where they don't necessarily believe they can help anybody,
yeah,
right? But it's just
yeah,
like sometimes that's all it takes is to share your story and share how you changed it, how you changed your path.
yeah,
And you might not even be on the path you want to be on yet, but you're like moving towards it.
yeah,
You're gonna be ahead of somebody, right? Not every somebody might be ahead of you and they might not need you,
yeah,
which is fine. But
yeah,
there's gonna be somebody who's just starting who's gonna need you,
mhm,
right? There's gonna be all these different places, timelines, and it's like you're gonna be able to help somebody. Somebody needs you,
mhm,
right? They need you for where you're at right now.
yeah,
And if people can just think about that, leading doesn't have to be thousands of people.
mhm,
Like you becoming a leader might start with 3 people.
yeah, and it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start, man, Yeah, yeah, there was so much I was thinking too, like, that I was gonna add, now I can't even remember it.
Man, how often that happens to me too.
Yeah.
It's funny too because so many times on here, people have asked me, "What was the question again?" And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, "Man,"
Yeah, I know, it's like
I'm like just so into what they're saying that I'm just like, I can't even remember.
that's
And
the
that's
power of thought, it just, like, leads into something else, right? It's always like, "Okay, where did we start again?" It's like, "Now we're here?"
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's good, man. It's good. It's like, I like it. I like it this way. I like it just to be, you know, even for you, like I've known you
Yeah.
for what, 2, 3 years,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like we've never sat down for an hour and talked.
No.
It's always just like in passing.
Yeah, it was just
How's it
like,
going?
"Hey,
How's
what's
it
up?
going?
Nice to see you."
Yeah, good to
Yeah.
see you again. And this is probably the longest we've ever talked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's nice because like I get to know you
Yeah.
right now. No script, no like I'm just like let's
Yeah.
just I'll figure it. I don't really know you,
Yeah.
so I'll find stuff to talk about,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and stuff gets lost, but it's fine, man. This is awesome.
No, I appreciate it, man. I was pretty excited to come, man. I think what you're doing here is pretty awesome, man. Like me and my friends, we get together, like, we get together and we talk like this for hours. And I've always said, like, man, we should podcast this, man. You know how much content we would have? Like, not only for content reasons, but for like the stuff said within like our talking sessions, like it needs to be heard,
Yeah,
like
man.
it needs to be heard. So, like that's why we need to like that's why what you're doing is like it's cool because like it's like unfiltered coming from like people that been through it, and
Mhm.
like I've always said like I would never take advice from anybody um unless they've already achieved like the level that I'm trying to achieve. So like for example, I wouldn't take advice from like, you know, some regular Joe Schmo off the streets that's a music artist, hasn't really achieved the status like that I'm going for. But like for Mercules, oh, I could listen to him all day,
Right.
talk about like the struggles that he had to go through to get to the point where he's at because like there's a lot of value there listening to somebody that's already paved the way that you're trying to follow. So,
Mhm. And
yeah.
I agree with that
Yeah.
because in my mind, like the mindset is the most important part.
Yeah.
And if you haven't done it, but you know how to do it,
Yeah.
you're still missing the most important part.
Yeah.
Like the mindset it takes to do it.
Yeah.
Whether that's getting up every morning, whether that's maybe you're a parent while doing it, like whatever it takes to do it, like the mindset of it is the part that you need to be able to teach the most.
Mhm.
So even if you have a strategy and a blueprint, but you haven't done it, it's not enough because you're going to speak it from a place where that mindset isn't even a part of it.
Yeah.
And that means the person you're teaching might not do it now because they don't even understand the mindset they need.
They're not there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, yeah, find somebody who's living how you want to be living
Yeah.
and then ask them questions.
Just questions.
And it doesn't matter what. If you want to have an amazing marriage,
Yeah.
find somebody who has a marriage that you want
Yeah.
and ask them,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure. Yeah.
finances, a sport, like whatever.
Yeah.
There's somebody who's done it
Somebody
better
that
than you.
owns this,
Right. Like,
for a up and comer, like,
exactly.
you know, they would learn a lot from you.
Yeah.
Somebody that's just getting into the t-shirt game or like, the retail business, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, man, and there's people out there who aren't like, there's going to be people that you ask and they're going to be like, no, you're my, you're my company, you know?
Yeah, yeah, there's some gatekeeping.
Right.
Some
Which
gatekeeping
is
kinda stuff.
fine. Just ask another like,
Yeah.
ask 20 people, one person's gonna help you.
That's why, like, when you were talking about Kendall, I was like, "Yeah, man, that's so right," is basically, like, there's enough for everybody to eat. We shouldn't be gatekeeping knowledge. We should be sharing it if anything, we should be sharing it with, like, the people,
Mhm.
because, like, we want our communities to be in a better position. We want indigenous entrepreneurs, you know? We wanna see our people do better, but, like, we're gonna withhold the information for them to get there, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I always think of other cultures.
yeah,
Like when I think of Asian communities,
yeah, yeah,
they're going to like when I think of the Filipino community,
yeah,
whether they need to get their car fixed, their plumbing done, they're going to another Filipino.
yeah, yeah,
Like the
they
price doesn't matter.
yeah,
They're working as a team. Like they're keeping,
the money within the community.
right, and there's so many cultures that are like that.
Yeah,
Here the Middle Eastern community, the Indian community, the whatever the community is,
yeah,
They're like, "Let's get rich as a community,"
Yeah, yeah.
and the native people, man, they won't do it. They're like, "Where's the cheapest? Where's the," and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
I'll
like,
go to Walmart rather
yeah,
than, like,
man,
go to
and
the
it's just like, which is, obviously our economy doesn't make it easy,
Yeah.
right? Because things are expensive. But frick, if indigenous people could just unite, man,
Yeah.
it'd be freaking cool, man. Things
It's
they could do.
when you were saying that, I was thinking about, like, the beadwork that our native people do, which is, beautiful, but expensive. It's like, "Let's get some Temu beadwork from
Yeah.
China." It's like, or,
Yeah.
like, the Andes. But also I was thinking, like, I had this friend, he lives in Vancouver, and he explained this so well when we were driving around. He was talking about, like, uh, the idea of economics is fairly new to indigenous people because, like, a couple 100 years ago, we were just bartering. Whereas, like, you compare that to, like, Indians or, like, the Chinese, Asian cultures where the like, economics been there for, like, thousands of years.
Definitely.
So when they come over here, they all pool their money together for businesses or, like, the money stays within the communities because they support each other. And then we got, indigenous people, get their cows and plows and it's gone in like a month and just really not that good with economics and handling money because the concept of currency is still fairly new
Right.
in a way, whereas like it traces
Yeah.
back for the other cultures thousands of years, but for us it's like only a couple 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even right now, because I'm out on communities often,
Yeah.
and even now I could tell how people speak.
Yeah.
It's not through the same system as, like our system, whether you like it or not, it's a capitalist system.
Yeah.
That's not what the reserves are being, that's not how they're living. They're
Yeah.
not living a capitalist lifestyle. So then I think it needs to be taught,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna leave the reserve, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's like learning hockey your whole life and then going to play basketball when you step out. It's
Yeah.
like it's a different lens, it's a different game, it's a different, everything's completely different
Yeah.
than the lifestyle on a reserve.
Yeah.
So it should be just like from kindergarten, like we
Taught.
gotta we gotta learn this westernized way,
Yeah.
or else we gotta stay here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, where it's like we gotta make sure that when if they want to leave or they can't, like that they can leave and be successful,
Yeah.
because like it's a shock, right? It's like a culture shock,
Yeah.
and now it is getting bigger. Like there's so many indigenous entrepreneurs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's like workshop should be.
That's that's what I was gonna get to.
All right, man.
I was gonna say there needs to be like a switch in criteria
Yes.
that like these indigenous influencers should be teaching rather than just going to communities and telling their story.
Yeah.
Like there's value there in their story. That's awesome they do that, but like they should also be teaching like economics and like,
Mhm.
like how like they started to this point to where they made like this huge company like Kendall Netmaker, for example. Um, yeah, man, I totally agree. It needs to be more openly discussed and talked about. So that these youth they're learning it at a young age fluently. And when I say fluently, it's just like it's not just going to the community, showing up one day and then giving them like a little hour masterclass. It
Right.
needs to be taught in school on a day-to-day basis, almost as like, we're trying to as our language dies, we're trying to keep it alive, but like there's not fluent speakers that teach it. They only teach it like 1 hour a day at school.
Right.
But like the people that are really learning it and picking it up fluently are like the elders at home that speak it 24/7. So, like, that's the same situation with, like, economics and, like,
Right.
financial EQ is basically it needs to be taught at a young age fluently, repetitively every single day for people to pick it up and it embeds in their conscious so that they can, like, utilize it
Yeah.
in the real world. Yeah.
I totally agree,
Yeah.
because it is the only way. And whether, Canada's not perfect, but it might never change.
Yeah.
This might just be it
That was my
forever.
that was
So
my
let's get good at it, whatever it is, you know?
so that was my number one question. My number one, like, peeve that I always had when I was going to, communities was basically, like, how do we really make a change? That was the big question, and I couldn't ever come up with the answer because it's like, yeah, we're doing awesome work going to these communities, but as soon as we leave, like, it's basically like a pep rally, you know? We're all hyped up for an hour, and then, the influencers leave, and
Mm,
they go back to regular life, So it's like, what are we really doing to change, our youth across Turtle Island? And, how could we do more, Like, what really needs to be done? And this is a hard question to ask, man. I'm getting mad thinking about it right now. It's like, damn, man, I don't even know where to start, man.
I I think about a quote, um, often. Since I heard it, it's just, like, there
Yeah,
when I think about being a father, and when I think about going to these communities. It's like, he said, "Raise your children for the world and the way it is,
yeah.
not the way you wish it was for them."
Mm, I
And I
like that.
think about
I
that
like that.
often, right? You have to prepare them for how the world is,
Mhm.
not this thing it might be, this thing you really wish it was. If it changes, this is what it could be.
Yeah,
Raise them for the world and how it is so they can be successful in it.
I like that, man. That
Yeah.
was like a it was like a paradigm shift that just happened right now. We're just like, yeah, man, it makes so much sense, man. Like, because, like, naturally as a parent, you just wanna give them the life that you never had, You wanna give them nice things, till they turn into iPad kids.
Yeah.
But it's like we should be really, like, teaching them and equipping them with the skills it takes to succeed in life, and that's probably the best thing that you could leave behind rather than just, like, providing them with, like, a nice home and nice things. It's like we should be really teaching our children at home.
Mhm.
So, yeah, man, I like that saying. I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah, that's good, man. Um, well, we're at an hour and 15.
What?
Yeah, man.
Damn, I didn't even it just went by so quick.
Yeah, it's good, man. It
I feel like there's a lot of good stuff in there, and it just came, like, naturally,
Yeah,
fluently, and,
dude.
yeah, I wasn't really expecting, like, I didn't have no expectations when I came here of what I was gonna talk about because basically, like, whenever I was, like, just put on the stage and, go talk, it was always like that. It was just, like, even with, like, the brother Okima, he'd just be like half an hour before I was supposed to talk, I wouldn't even know I was gonna talk. He was just like, "You're talking today." "What?" "Yeah, man, you got half an hour." Damn, man. I'm just like sitting there like, "Ugh, I don't know." Like, there was always, like, this thing in the back of my head was just like, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm the right person for this." And, like, I just don't wanna go up there and, like, lose my train of thought and mess up. But I've always every time I went up there, it was basically like, I was nervous for the first 10 minutes, and then after that, it just the more comfortable you get, it just came more fluent, and then that's when, like, all the gold was,
Yeah,
like
man. Even honestly, when I see people lose their train of thought
Yeah,
at conferences,
yeah,
you could see the whole crowd connect with them.
yeah,
It's like, okay, I don't have to be perfect,
yeah.
because some people, they're too good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, nobody is gonna connect with you, man.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
too good at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, some people
You
have a
know?
whole hour presentation, like,
Yeah.
on a screen, and
And then other
everything's
people,
rehearsed, and
man,
it's like
and they'll be like, "Oh, where was I going with that?"
yeah,
Whatever. And then they'll go on to something else.
yeah,
And it's like that's the person, especially at the level you're speaking at, you
yeah.
know? You're not speaking with CEOs. You're speaking with youth. You're speaking
Kids.
with men that are going through shit,
Mhm.
you know, and they stumble every day.
Oh, for
So
sure,
to
yeah,
see somebody who's like maybe making a living off this,
yeah,
stumbling and then laughing it off,
yeah,
that is a connection, man.
yeah,
That's what you need to see. So that's why it's like embrace it. You
yeah,
know, failing is a part of it.
yeah. That's another thing, like, I've growing up, I never wanted to fail. I've always wanted to succeed, but the more audiobooks you listen to, you start to, like, realize, like, failure is the way to success. You have to fail 1,000 times before you succeed once, and it's during those moments of failure, the lessons that you learn to succeed. So, like, I always embrace failure, man. Like, there's lessons that need to be learned during those times. So it's never a bad thing to fail.
No.
Yeah.
It's like that if you can just have like a really great relationship with failure,
Yeah.
you know? Cuz you only lose if you quit.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the thing.
You win or you quit.
Yeah.
And failure isn't losing.
Yeah.
It's only losing if you quit.
Yeah. The saying basically, failure is only failure if you stay down where you fell. And that's where a lot of people, they just stay there, right?
Yeah, man.
So that's the thing, even with music, man. It's like I always, like, looked at it as, like, I'm in a car. I'm driving to PA. The destination is PA. In a sense, like, PA should be the success, the peak of all peaks that you're striving to reach. But as you're driving, you just take your foot off the gas and you stop on the side of the highway halfway through. And that's the same thing with failure. It's just basically like all you got to do is put your foot back on the gas,
Mm,
and continue moving forward. And eventually you're going to get there. Yeah.
that's good, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you another another quote just came to me.
I want to hear it.
Yeah. uh it was up or getting up, never down.
Up or getting
You're
up.
either up or you're getting up. You're never down.
You're never down.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know? You
Yeah.
might trip, you might fall, just get back up.
Just get back up. Yeah, man. I like
Don't
it.
stay down there.
I like
Unless just kidding. Just kidding. That's good, man. This is good. I really like how your mind works, man. I
Hey, man.
appreciate
When I
like
came here, I was thinking, like, I don't know, man. Like, I like it because I'm gonna go do a podcast. I didn't have anything else to do today, but I also there's always, like, some little voice in the back of the mind, like, no, man.
don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, man. It's like basically like I want to stay within my comfort zone, but
Yeah.
like the best things that come in life are like when you go outside of the comfort zone, and it's like becoming with situations that are uncomfortable,
Mhm.
becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable situations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how, man. So many people have come here,
Yeah.
so nervous,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and then like 5 minutes in, it's just they realize it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not an
Yeah.
interview. It isn't structured, and it's just like
It seems like an interview from the cops or something at first.
yeah,
It's like, especially when there's a camera on you, man. It's
yeah.
just like,
Changes things.
Yeah, it changes things. Like, I bet if we were just talking like this and we weren't recording any of this, like, feel so comfortable. But like as soon as like the mic's on and the camera's on, it's like it's definitely a different vibe.
Yeah. Well, you did awesome.
I appreciate you, my brother, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having me. And yeah, man, I always wake up every single day and I always say to myself, like, yeah, something wonderful is gonna happen to me today. Even if it's just like the smallest little thing, it's just like just expect good things to happen, you know? It's you're expecting it rather than like the opposite side, which would be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna fail today. Nothing's gonna work out today." You know?
Mhm.
It's just like such
Yeah,
a like different perspective. So like I'm always like expecting good things to happen. And this is one of those good things, man. You
yeah.
know?
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming. I know we've talked about this for a bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, man. It's really cool to pick your brain, man, and kind of just see like it's kind of cool to hear like where the changes happen, your growth, and I can tell, man, you think deeply.
I appreciate you, man.
Awesome, man. Well, if there's one last thing you want to say or anything you want to shout out, go for it.
Mm. I just wanna say, actually, I don't even know what I wanna say, but, you know, it all starts with belief, man. Believe in yourself no matter what you're trying to chase for. You know, just never let external situations determine, how much belief you have within yourself, you know, like, just always keep going, get up every single day, and then, continue learning, man. Continue experiencing the good and the bad, and always be thankful and grateful for the moments like you're down and out because it's like a pendulum swing. You know, the only way to go up, the only way to go from there is up. So yeah,
Awesome, man.
yeah,
Thank you.
heck yeah, that was good.
Well,